What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I've got two mental entitled parent stories for you, so sit back, relax, and let's get straight into them. But just quickly, last video I asked you guys for 5,000 likes and well, you smashed it. So this video, let's try and hit 10k. I know it's a lot, but you guys never fail to impress me. Let's exchange daughters. I deserve the white girl. Okay, recently it was Mother's Day and I was talking to Mum on Skype to wish her a happy day and celebrate with her. A long time ago, more than 20 years ago, my mother had just joined my father and his family. She was a very hard-working person. She studied and worked, in addition to helping my father's family every time she could since she did not have a family. Everyone loved her for these qualities. At the same time, my uncle had married a woman. Let's call her Liz. Like my mother, Liz had grown up in a poor and toxic family, but she was not at all as hardworking and kind as my mother, nor so beautiful. She may have been married to a rich man and had a better economic position than my mother, but for Liz it was not enough. She wanted to be admired and loved just like my mother, so she always competed with her. Although Mum did not know that she was competing until she left the family. Liz always tried to steal credit from my mother or make my father look bad to the other members of the family. And when she did not succeed, she would cry like a little girl so that someone would take her side. One day, my mother announced to the family that she was pregnant. Everyone celebrated, and this angered Liz. A couple of months later, she announced that she was also pregnant. Clearly, she was competing with my mother again. Over time, it became known that both Liz and my mother were going to have girls, and they were very excited. Liz always talked to everyone about how her daughter would be, saying that her girl would have the white skin of her father, the green eyes of her, and brown hair. I do not know where the brown hair would come from, but well, my mother only hoped that I was born in good health. My mother never stopped working even while pregnant, while Liz stayed home 9 months pregnant without doing anything. The first to be born was me. I was born healthy. Liz did not even hold me when I was introduced to the family. She was still talking about her daughter. A few months later, my cousin was born, and it was here when Liz's pride went to the bottom. Her daughter was born very similar to her, with dark skin and straight hair and the brown eyes of the father. Nothing like the white girl with brown hair and green eyes that she wanted. Even so, my cousin was beautiful. When my mother arrived at Liz's house, she left me with my cousin in the crib, and while she had coffee with my aunt and Liz, she noticed how she paid me a lot of attention. She always approached the crib and tried to play with me, ignoring her own daughter. I was born identical to my mother, with very light skin, black hair, a small pink mouth, and big brown eyes. Liz always complimented my skin and my eyes, to which my mother was grateful. She also tried to outshine me, which my mother did not see with favor, since she neglected my cousin and attending to me was my mum's job. One day, Liz approached the crib to see me. She asked my mother if she wanted to change her daughters. What? Mum knew she was not joking. Even so, she tried to make it look like a joke, but Liz insisted and my mother just left her smiling. The conversation went something like this. It shows that you like my daughter very much and I like yours. If we exchange them, we will be happier. I have a good economic position and I will be able to give her everything she needs. What she needs is her mother. You give your daughter what she needs and I will give mine the same, but only to my true daughter. I do not intend to give her to you. Your daughter does not seem like your daughter. She adapts more to our family. She has a more delicate appearance that will fit with our way of life. Do you plan to deprive her of that? Mine, on the contrary, fits more into your lifestyle. It will not be difficult to work. Do you know how racist and stupid you just sounded? I'm not a racist. I'm only telling the truth. I need this girl. Besides, there'll be no difference. They are almost the same age and I doubt that the family cares. But I need this girl for the simple fact of it being mine. She is my daughter. I gave birth to her. You plan to deprive that girl of a comfortable and happy life just because of your selfishness? What kind of mother are you? Anyone would be happy to exchange children with me. My mother, already angry about this, ended up screaming at her. A better mother than you, because I love my daughter and I do not treat her as an object as you do now. I will give my daughter everything she needs and you fill your daughter with the happy life that you presume. But don't try and treat the girls as objects. Attend to your daughter and I'm going with my child. And don't even think of throwing a tantrum over this. My mother and I left that house and for a long time she did not let Liz see or visit me, nor did I let them leave me alone with her for fear that Liz would steal me. Liz believed that she deserved a white daughter because according to her, she adjusted more to her status. Yes, as racist and stupid as it sounds, and that my mother was selfish for not wanting the exchange. Since then, Liz tried to make life impossible responsible for my mother, bothering her at work and inventing accidents and even slander to blame her. She'd also stolen some photos of me and presented me as her daughter to her acquaintances and friends, something that was soon known as a lie when they visited Liz's house. Liz did not mistreat her daughter, but she always yearned to exchange babies. This continued until my uncle and Liz divorced a few years later. She left the country and rarely contacted her daughter. Shortly after the divorce, the kind of person Liz really was revealed to everyone, and of course my mother also told everyone about the exchange of daughters. Now Liz is a stain on our family and is hated even by her own daughter. No one had ever told her about the exchange that her own mother wanted to do. P.S. Despite all of this, my cousin and I grew up as sisters and we get along great. I'm very happy to have the mother I have and that this exchange never happened. Having a mother like that is really disgusting and I'm very sorry for my cousin. Yeah, wow, what a story. OP, I do totally agree with you. If you're treating your own child as an object, then there is something seriously wrong in your head. This entitled mum really needs to go and see somebody to sort that out, because that is just a crazy mindset, honestly. Like saying to your own sister, you know what, I don't really fancy my own baby. Yeah, she's only just been born, but she's not how I want her to look, you know. Can we do a little swap deal? Maybe, you know, a player plus cash sort of deal in the January markets coming up, you know, a 5-year contract, that sort of thing. What a weird thing to say. Like, come on, Liz, they're not Pokemon cards. You can't just trade your daughters. What is this? What is this wass? Now, clearly, as we can see from this story, guys, if you are born with an entitled parent, there's not really much you can do to, you know, have a happy and safe life. However, the same cannot be said for your life on the internet, thanks to today's kind sponsors, Dashlane, who keep you safe and secure online. Now, more than ever, it is so important that you guys are utilizing their service. With quarantine, social distancing, and isolation still happening across all the world, we are using the internet more than ever right now. And that is where Dashlane comes in, offering you an easy way to stay safe at all times online. Their VPN service can encrypt your data at the push of a button, keeping you secure. And it also allows you to choose any country you would like to virtually be in, so you can access content from across the world which would otherwise be blocked on sites like Netflix. Dashlane also offers a safe, simple, and affordable way to store and fill your passwords and personal information. Ranging from credit cards to financial info, literally anything you need, they'll do it for you. Their autofill makes logging into any website incredibly safe and easy. Just click once to log in and Dashlane will do the rest, even creating a secure password that you will never have to remember if you like. To put it simply, Dashlane works on everything, everywhere. So download Dashlane on your first device for free today by going to www.dashlane.com/Redditor. Then if you want to upgrade to premium to use Dashlane across all your devices, you can use my promo code Redditor to get a discount off your first year. Guys, as I always say, the more you support the product, the more it supports me, so please go down into the description or the pinned comment where you will find the link. Honestly, I use this every single day. It's so valuable and you really should too. With that being said, let's move into the second story of today's video. You already have a child. You should tell me your new baby. As much as I like this sub, I live in fear of having the opportunity to post here, and yet here I am, with the realization that I have family that I can talk about on here. This is the most manipulative and ugly, literally ugly, classist, racist person I've ever met. I've worked in customer service and do politics in a totalitarian government, so it's safe to assume I've already seen the worst of the worst. She is married to my uncle, let's call her Mary. Mary has pulled a lot of entitled stunts over the course of her life. I probably have over 100 stories that I can share that I know of. I don't talk to that part of the family because it's toxic as anything, but there are a few family gatherings in which we meet. One of those happened yesterday and I got reminded of her golden traits, so thought you would enjoy raging with me. Her entitlement shone yesterday as she tried to make herself the best friend of my current boss, who's married to my cousin and he's filthy rich. Oh, there's more. She also brought a friend of hers who was supposed to be strictly quarantined because she is high risk, tried to outshine the 1-month-old baby who we were all there to meet with her already grown-up daughters who we've all met, tried to become the host of a party in a house that wasn't hers, going as far as to search and serve food from the refrigerator that wasn't designated to the party's servings, and to top it all off, we were also there to pray for my cousin's mother who died last week. I don't participate in Christian stuff, but she was my favourite aunt and like a second mother to me. So the moment of appreciation was very important to me, to my cousin, my other aunt, and Mary's husband, his sister. It turns out Mary decided that since we were there to remember the dead ones, it would be a nice thing to not only take the role of the main person leading the prayers, but to also include a picture, a big one, of her mother that she pulled out of her purse and put it in front of my aunt's picture. It covered it almost completely. Then she started with a speech about how she missed her mother, who died 10 years ago, and literally just saying rip about my aunt's death. But I'm not here today to tell you that story. Oh no, I was just venting. Since I have so much to tell and so little time, I figured it would be best if I started with the oldest tale I know of. The time she asked my mum to sell her my brother while she was 4 months pregnant. Good old Mary is infertile. She does have 2 daughters. One was conceived in vitro and then introduced into her womb. The other one popped out of nowhere. Literally, we suspect she bought it out from someone since she has a record of trying this, but whatever. Before having her first daughter, when I was around 10 years old, my mum broke the news to the family that she was pregnant. Yay! Mary wasn't happy with this because she, as of then, had been trying for years with her husband and wasn't able to get pregnant. She always had this sort of competition with my mum and with everyone because she has this need of being the best one on everything. Ugh, I'm getting so many throwbacks to the first story here. She must have the most money, have the most expensive clothes, be more successful in her career, have the happiest marriage, go to the most exotic places, but she wasn't the best. She was the only one with no children out of the 7 siblings of the family, my aunts and uncles, and she was also one of the oldest wives. So imagine her jealousy when the youngest one, directly below her husband, was going to have her second child while her and her husband were still child-free. The horror, her status. So she took my mother aside one day and told her, you know, it isn't fair that you got pregnant before us. It wasn't fair for you to have OP before your brother since he's older than you, but whatever. It can't be helped if OP was a broken condom or something. But you know, we've been trying for years now and we're just exhausted. And we're not comfortable with trying those artificial methods nor having a baby without our blood. So, since you're family, and we know you are not in a financial position to take care of another baby right now, what would you say if I offered to pay for everything pregnancy related, and after the baby is born, I would pay you X amount for keeping it as your brother and I's baby? Of course, my mum said no. She told me roughly how the proposition went years later, but only because I was the one that found out why she was so pushy about buying my brother. Because this wasn't just a one-time thing, no, she tried constantly to convince my parents to sell them my brother throughout the next 5 months. And even for some months after he was born. You see, my father is the son of an immigrant. He has European blood and is very handsome. Mary also has a need of proving to everyone that she has royal blood, and aesthetics are everything to her. Hence the need to show herself as the best of the best in every aspect of life. And she will not hesitate to do anything to achieve her goal of being the perfect woman with the perfect life. This includes pretending she has white genes. She doesn't. We live in a very heavily mixed race country. She was born in one of the least developed states, in a humble family, in a small town, with only town people that have been working under the sun for generations, so all of them have dark skin. She married my uncle, who comes from a family that has lived in an island for generations, and who was also the most dark-skinned one of all the siblings. There is no way she is going to have a baby who is white. But my mum is one of the most light-skinned between her siblings, and she married my dad, who has Italian and Polish genes. So I was born with very pale skin and smooth hair. Mary's and her husband's hair are what we describe as bad hair. Not in an offensive way, but that's how it's called here. It's basically super twisted and thick hair. There was a big chance my brother was going to be born European looking. You already know where this is going, right? One day I was minding my own business while in their daughter's birthday party, and I happened to wander close to where Mary was talking with someone. I didn't know her. Then I heard how she openly complained about how her daughter was black, and how she wished she managed to convince my mum and dad to just give her their baby, because having a white son would have solved all of her problems. It is so hard to move up the stairs of society when you have a black family, and not only that, but having an ugly daughter isn't going to help either. There's no way she will marry a rich man. How is she supposed to pay her retirement? There was more said, but I can't remember it all. And yes, my uncle approves of her behavior and patronizes it. They, two dark-skinned people, believe in white supremacy. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that the daughter that popped out of nowhere one day is white and looks nothing like Mary nor her husband. Yeah, well, that was a bit mad. I guess, yeah, that just confirms that baby had none of their genes at all and was probably bought. The less said about that, the better. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I mean, by leave it at that, I know that is probably illegal and probably someone should call the authorities, but I'm not gonna deal with that in this little summary. It is very strange though how two mixed race or black people would be white supremacists. I don't really understand that at all. Anyone get that sort of logic? If you do, somehow drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about white supremacy, guys. Apart from that, I've not really got much more to add. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Entitled Parents. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, yeah, drop a like on this video. As I said, 10k likes would be very much appreciated if you can get there, which I know, I don't think you can, but you've surprised me before, and I'm sure you will do again. If you do want more content in the meantime, there is a video or a playlist up on screen right now that you can go ahead and watch. Also, remember to subscribe if you haven't done already. We're now close to 500,000. We're going to hit that number in about a couple of weeks, it seems. That'll be insane, so subscribe if you aren't already.